Hi, Sergey here from Audi Langley, and today I want to talk about finance versus lease. I bet you heard it before, and you read a lot of information online. What is lease? What is financing? What's the difference? But quite often I meet so many customers, and it's like nobody seems to know exactly what's going on, with finance and lease, and should they finance or should they lease. So I really hope this video will clarify it for you guys, and it will help you make a smart financial decision in the future whenever you're ready to buy a vehicle. Let's begin. For the example, for the sake of this example, I'm going to use our local taxes, provincial and federal taxes here in British Columbia, Canada, just for the sake of this example. So assuming you're buying a vehicle, you're financing a vehicle for $50,000. So what's the first thing you're going to do? The first thing you're going to pay upfront tax. You're going to pay 7% or $3,500 to provincial government, and 5%, $2,500 to federal government. So total $6,000 in taxes right away. So you're not paying $50,000 for your vehicle, you're paying $56,000 for your vehicle. And back in the days, when cars were just introduced, rich people were buying them for cash. But then the financing model got introduced. You can finance it for 12 months and 24 months. And the car became more expensive, more technology. So the new financing model was introduced: 36 months, 48, 60, 72, 84, which is most common financing option today. But today you can even get 96 months or even up to 108 months of financing. So I call it welcome to the car mortgage. Anyway, so most people, they finance, they go like, oh, I just want a low payments, give me 7 years for financing. So after 7 years of 7 years of payments, you become a proud owner of a vehicle which is not worth $56,000 anymore. The cars depreciate really fast, and after 7 years, this car is worth much less. So that's a financing model, very straightforward, very simple. Let's have a look at lease. So you lease same $50,000 vehicle. First thing gonna happen to you, you're not gonna pay upfront tax. You won't pay upfront tax. You will only pay tax on the part of the car you lease, not the full amount. So let's say you lease for 3 years, or you go by a certain formula calculation, so you're gonna pay tax only on that period, but it's never going to be like full amount, as we just saw with financing, $6,000 just in taxes. So that's the first thing that's going to happen with lease: no upfront tax. Now usually lease term is shorter, like 24, 36. There's even 48 months leasing, but most people lease for 36 months. That's a good turnaround. People drive car for 2-3 years, and then they just want something new. So, and just to compare, 36 months is 4 years less than the most common financing option. Like, imagine being like 7 years paying for the vehicle, or just having it for 3 years. Now the payments usually are much lower. Like let's say you take 48 months lease and 48 months financing, obviously lease will be will have much lower payment, because the upfront tax is not included, and you never pay the full price for the vehicle itself. You usually pay around 50%, and the remainder is called residuals, the remainder of the balance, which you will know upfront right away when you buy a car. When you lease a car, you know it right away, and like I said, it's usually around 50%, could be 46, 52, depends on the terms and manufacturer, etc. Now, the best part of the lease is in options. The lease has plenty of options. Like financing has only one route, just one way to go. Lease has multiple options. Option number one, let's review it. First of all, let's say you love the vehicle, okay? Then you just buy it and keep it. Like, this option will be exactly the same as the financing option. You simply refinance the vehicle, whatever the buyout left, the remainder of the balance, plus taxes, pay, refinance it, and the vehicle's yours. So this is identical to the financing. Like personally, I see no difference. Let's look at difference number two, option number two, trade-in equity. So let's say at the end of your term, you were leasing for 3 years, and at the end of your term, your buyout is $25,000, but the market value of your vehicle is $28,000. So there is $3,000 of positive equity in your vehicle, which you can put towards your next vehicle purchase. I don't know, you can fly to Hawaii, whatever you prefer. But let's say the situation is a little bit different. Let's say economy is bad, okay? The market value of your vehicle is actually much lower than your buyout, assuming it's $15,000 and while your buyout is still $25,000. So is it worth buying this vehicle out? No, not at all, because you're going to lose so much money. So in this case, it's simply easy to drop off the keys. You just bring the car, you bring the keys, drop them off, and say goodbye. Another cool thing about lease is lease takeover. Because let's say, for example, something happens and next year you need to fly to another country, you need to move to another province, state, whatever, life happens, and you need to sell the vehicle. So if you finance, you're going to sell it, you're going to lose money because the car depreciated a lot. And you can lose like on the vehicle like this, like $50,000 vehicle, you can lose in 1 year, you can lose $10,000-$12,000 in depreciation only. So with lease, what you can do, you can offer someone to take over your lease. Just offer them, like little perk, like tell them, you know what, take over my car, take over my lease, I'll cover your first, couple payments. So instead of losing like $10,000-$12,000, you're gonna lose, 2 payments on your car. So that's called lease takeover, which I think is a terrific option. And another thing that financing doesn't have by default, but lease comes with it by default, it's called gap insurance. So many people don't know what gap insurance is. So let me give you an example. Let's say you finance a vehicle, you're happy, you finance the car, and knock on the wood, like in a year later, you got into accident, and the local insurance company, in our case ICBC, let's say gives you $40,000 for the vehicle write-off, but you still owe $50,000 to the bank. So who is gonna pay $10,000 remainder? Because insurance gives you $40,000, but you still owe $50,000. That's called gap. So gap insurance. So when you finance a car, you don't have this gap insurance. You can purchase it if you want to, but you don't have it. With lease, it comes. Leasing usually comes with gap insurance. I would still recommend you to, talk every time if you want to go with leasing. Talk to your dealership. Make sure it has gap insurance. For all the manufacturers I used to work before, they had gap insurance in their lease programs, and that's why I mention it. So just when you compare these two, see, like financing is only one way to go. Lease, you can keep the vehicle. Financing, you can go same route as a financing. You can have some trade-in equity, get it, put it in your next purchase. You can just get rid of the vehicle because the market value is below its buyout. So why would you lose money? And of course, you can also do lease takeover, and as a bonus, you have a gap insurance. Now, out of these two options, financing and lease, which one do you think makes more sense? Well, leave me a comment, let me know, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.